Good evening, everybody. I'm Rachel Miller with the Miller Law Firm. Thank you so much for coming tonight. This is a tremendous experience for us and a tremendous turnout. We appreciate your time. UC Hastings College of the Law had invited us to conduct this symposium tonight in partnership with them, and we were more than honored by their invitation. And I actually have the distinct pleasure and honor of introducing the Chancellor and Dean Frank Wu. And when I called him to obtain his professional bio, he said, please just introduce me as the Dean. But I couldn't resist, and I had to look at his bio, and I have to say it is more than humbling, the amount of work that you do for American civil rights and education. And please join me in welcoming Chancellor and Dean Frank Wu.
Welcome. Welcome to the University of California Hastings College of the Law. I'd like to thank the Miller Law Firm, especially Rachel and her father, for being here for this wonderful event, as well as everyone who's part of this great and distinguished law firm, which has just opened new offices, as you know, in downtown San Francisco. You know, Tom Miller, a member of the class of 1973, has been so involved with UC Hastings. He's not only one of this state and nation's leading experts, as you all know, in the area of construction defects. He's been so loyal to his law school as a member of the foundation board, as a chair of one of the class reunions, and of course his son Matt is a member of the class of 2000. So we have not one but two UC Hastings graduates in this family, and three overall, constituting half of the lawyers in this firm, which is already incredibly busy because their name is so well known in this field. And so it is just a tremendous honor to welcome back to campus someone who is so involved and who represents what really is the finest of law practice and the finest of what this school stands for. Someone who takes all of the book learning and knowledge and uses it in the real world to help people who are facing the loss of their homes and facing a devastation that they didn't expect as their condos and buildings fall apart in a way that really is just wrong, and thanks to the Miller Law Firm, they can help make it right once again. I'd also like to mention, of course, as you probably already know, that Tom is AV rated in Martindale-Hubbell. That's the highest rating you can possibly have. And he's recovered more than $500 million for his clients. So really, to have someone of this stature that we can claim as one of our own, this is what makes us proud as a law school. I'd also like to just take a moment to say that it's my view that as a public law school located here in the heart of this great city of San Francisco, that it's our responsibility to open our doors, to host forums such as this, where all of you can come and learn. Even if you aren't a lawyer, if you're a potential client, if you're someone who cares about these issues, where you can come and learn the nuances and subtleties of law so that you know your rights and so that you are better able to deal with these problems as they come up in your own lives. This is what a law school does at its best. It's not just about theory, it's not just about the book learning, though that's very important. It's about taking all of this knowledge and sharing it with the world. So with that, although I can't stay for this program, I did want to be sure to stop in to say welcome to each and every one of you. And thank you so much, Tom, for all that you've done for UC Hastings. It is truly our honor to host this function. Thanks so very much.
Welcome, everyone. And thank you very much, Dean. And thanks everyone here at Hastings who's helped put this together. The staff has been exceptional, as usual, on making this program and helping arrange everything. And so we thank you very much. Tonight we have a pleasure of talking to you about the state of community associations and the state of construction. And why is it that we're here, and what is it that we're trying to get across to you in this forum, as opposed to perhaps a different type of forum that we're sometimes used to in the community associations industry. My thought was, as a graduate of Hastings and someone who's been very close to this institution, that an outreach opportunity is something that has not happened here before, and I wanted to bring the community here instead of us going outside the community to a different institution. Because so many times we pass by this building and wonder what that is. And I know I spent many years here studying very hard and earnestly while in the early 70s, and now back here again to practice law, and it's a pleasure being back. So some of the reasons why we're here tonight is because of the amount and kinds of buildings that are going up here in the Bay Area. And we have a PowerPoint presentation I'd like you to follow with me. These are similar types of projects that we're currently involved with and or currently have issues with respect to construction claims or in some part of the construction process. This is a mid-rise building, mid-high-rise building, 225 units in the design center area of San Francisco, a mixed-use project. This is a mid-high-rise building in San Francisco, 110 units, all residential, built within the past 5 years. Live-work lofts are very popular in the city. We see a lot of this product here. This is one product that is on 5th Street that is currently in a claim process and soon to be out of that process. On the right-hand side is Nob Hill Lambourne. Nob Hill Lambourne is a conversion. It was a hotel operated by Joie de Vivre Corporation, converted to condominiums shortly thereafter, sold at the height of the market in 2006, 2007. And unfortunately, at the time, shortly thereafter, we discovered a number of problems that the owners felt needed to be addressed. So we were retained by Nob Hill Lambourne, pursued that to conclusion in less than 10 months. A claim that where the developer didn't have any insurance. So it was interesting that we had at least a very solvent corporation. One of the things we'll be talking about tonight is the solvency of these developers. Luxury townhomes at 1826 Eddy is a complement to 1828 Eddy right next to it. And a mixed-use project at 3354 20th. All very similar profiles. One of the things we thought is that we wanted to demographically show you how and where the building is going and where the population is increasing in the Bay Area. So, of course, the city with the most population increase, this is an estimate in 2010 by the San Francisco Business Times, is the city of San Jose with over 1 million people. The city of San Francisco is next, followed by Oakland and Fremont, and Berkeley, Daly City, and Santa Clara at the bottom of that list. The plan here in these areas is about 1/3 of the new homes being built in this area are in the top 3 slots, San Francisco, Oakland, and San Jose, and about 18% going up in the small to mid-sized cities. And this is a demographic of where the construction is going. These are projects that are either in the planning process or in construction. And as you can see, a lot of this is concentrated south of Market, some of it in Hunters Point, and very little out in one large project actually out in Lake Merced. The San Francisco Department of City Planning also publishes stats on projects that are under construction or what they call in the pipeline. And as you can see, the type of product that they're building now goes from single family, very few single family homes, 113, to condominiums at 1,200 units, between 2 and 9, all the way up to 38,000 units on a project that's above 250 units. So in the pipeline, 70% of the product is exclusively residential and 20% mixed use. And mixed use projects can be as simple as the first floor has some commercial units attached to it, and the rest are commercial. And only 10% of those projects are commercial. And in the peninsula, the development area, you can see areas of the peninsula that are high growth areas, and we talked about a little bit about where that demographic is. But here's the peninsula residential development. So in Redwood City, we can see a huge concentration. This is again published by the San Francisco Business Times in late 2010, showing 10,000 units, over 10,000 under construction or in the pipeline. San Mateo's next, followed by Foster City and Brisbane. And East Bay, you can see the demographic of where the projects are currently in the pipeline there. And the largest residential builders in the Bay Area. So, you know, we can look at these. These names will probably pop out at you. You've probably seen these. Sino Homes, Pulte, KB Home, Northern Division, Tishman Spire, Summerhill Homes, Lennar, Intracorp, Standard Pacific, Toll Brothers, Shea Homes, Brookfield, Chappelle, and so on. And these are no homes that were closed in 08, 09, so these are already completed and sold. And we have a total of over 6,000 units in the Bay Area. What we were surprised about is that there was really no independent analysis of demographically why it is that there were so many construction claims in the Bay Area until Bloomberg published this out of the blue. Came across my email one morning and I thought, okay, now here's a really reliable source talking about how home builders' shares were being undermined, not only by the recession, but also by creeping costs of construction. So Bloomberg, according to the International Association of Certified Home Inspectors, and I talked to this reporter after he published this, he had done a lot of homework. A doubling of defects per unit between 2000 and 2005. And then it goes into a description of Pulte, the U.S. largest home builder, who had recorded a one-time expense of $272 million in the third quarter of 2010, or roughly 25% of its revenues, to increase reserves just to cover losses on homeowners demanding repairs to new homes. Horton, the second largest builder in the U.S., put its net liabilities at $319 million in 2010, which more than doubled from its previous construction defect liabilities from 2003. And according to the Vice President of the National Association of Home Builders in Washington, there's no evidence that the quality declined during the boom. Well, you have to consider the source of that, because the U.S. Home Builders Organization, you have to say that given those statistics, there had to be some decline in the quality of construction if the expenses that those home builders were putting aside had more than doubled in those years, and we're talking about $300 million or $272 million. Bloomberg also reported that the availability of general liability insurance for home builders and subcontractors has become increasingly limited and more expensive, and we'll have a discussion about that tonight by one of our panelists or two. That the companies, the building companies, the building industry companies are finding it more difficult to tap into insurance also to cover payments to homeowners, because insurers have added so many exceptions to those policies. And we'll talk about those exceptions. 10 years ago there were fewer, now there are many more that we have to be concerned about when we go into these claim processes. And most of the claims, according to at least last year from Pulte and Horton, were related to water intrusion. Well, we all probably pretty much know that. So if you've ever had a water intrusion claim or a defect claim, most of it starts with water intrusion problems and then goes from there. So the University of Florida found 69% of the defect claims that they reviewed related to moisture penetration. That's on the other coast. We're here on this coast, and we have a lot of contributing factors as to why these projects fail.